Urgent message to all Queenslanders. Wartime emergency. Schools to close. The Premiers and Chiefs Secretary's Department, Brisbane, 30th January 1942. The Protection of Persons and Properties, Order SA. I, William Forgan Smith, the Premier of the State of Queensland, in pursuance of the powers conferred upon me by Regulation 35A of the National Security General Regulations, do hereby order the immediate closure of all coastal area schools, excepting those institutions in which instruction vital to the defence of Australia is carried on. W. Forgan Smith, Premier of the State of Queensland. With the threat of a Japanese invasion during World War II, compulsory attendance by children at coastal schools in Queensland was temporarily suspended. These schools closed from 30th January 1942. The restrictions were short-lived. As the initial panic faded, many of the coastal schools reopened on 20th February 1942, just less than a month later, and most were again functioning by 2nd of March. Only schools near defenced installations remained closed. But the reopened schools were very different from their pre-war days. Air raid shelters and slit trenches filled playgrounds. Air raid drill became commonplace. Primary school attendances dropped. A teacher shortage resulted from teachers enlisting in the armed forces. Only pupils in grades 6 and 7 were required to attend for a full school day. School hours were staggered to allow children in lower grades to receive at least 3 hours instruction. School uniforms did not have to be worn. Many children transferred to country schools, causing overcrowding in those schools. School grounds became receiving depots for scrap metals to be recycled. Pupils grew vegetables in school gardens to raise money for the Red Cross and hospitals. The gradual repulse of the Imperial Japanese armies lessened the threat to Australia. Slowly the schools began to return to normal, but it was not until the 1950s that the education system in Queensland began to recover from the wartime economies.